my people. Welcome back to our day number 7 of our drawing challenge. Today's thing that we're going to draw has something to do with the stuff that No Cheese has put on the table in front of you. Can you guys at home guess what a can of Mod Podge, a can of peas, a magnifying glass, a button, a squishy named Bubbles, is that correct? I got that right. And my coffee cup all have in common?
They're circular?
They are. They actually can be used as a stencil to make a circle on our piece of artwork today. So, what is circular? Well, that's a very tiny one too, isn't it? What is circular? Hangs high in the sky. And sometimes I call you it. Well, I call you my moonbeam, right? Because you were born at night. So, my moonbeam, what are we drawing today?
The moon.
The what?
The moon.
The moon. We're drawing the moon. And maybe we'll hide a cow in there.
A cow jumping over.
So, if you want to take a pause right now and find something that's circular in your household, it should have a flat bottom, and you should be able to hold it down and trace all the way around it with your pencil. If you want to do big, that's great. We won't fit as many on the paper. If you want to do tiny, that's great too. You can fit as many as you want, but you can't get as many details into something that's tiny. So what are you going to use? You are going to use the magnifying glass today. I think I'm not going to go for the coffee cup or the peas because they're pretty big. I'm going to go for the Mod Podge. So I'm going to stick it on our paper wherever we want to start. And I'm going to start us out with, very good, Quinn. I'm going to start us out by tracing around and creating one of the best phases of the moon, my favorite, but it kind of makes, people and kids go crazy. Do you remember at school when I tell you, like, why is everyone being so crazy today? And then we remember, oh yeah, there's a full moon. It's kind of like, werewolves.
Except
I'm not
crazy wolves.
Crazy children's. So I've got my full moon, but in order to make it look like a moon and not just like a circle, I'm going to do a couple of different things. First, I'm going to pick which side of the moon is going to be the dark side of the moon. And we talk about shading all the time. I'm just going to run my pencil back and forth in a circular motion around this side of the moon to make it look curved. You can darken up the edge too. That'd give it a really nice crisp line. And then just fill in that area.
Yeah. It looks like it's rocky now.
Yep.
The moon is just a giant
And so
rock.
some other coloring techniques we can use, and if you've got crayons or markers, you could do this too. We're going to add some stippling to give it that grainy texture that we want, right? And the more dots you put in the same area, the more it kind of looks like it's filled in like a crater. And the more you spread them out, the more it just gives it that speckled look, right? So this is called what? Do you guys remember?
Stippling.
Stippling. My ECE friends who are listening at home, I know you remember that song. Stippling. Okay, cool. So again, stippling with a pencil isn't nearly as exciting as stippling with a crayon or with a marker because it makes bigger marks, right? But this area right here that I created that's really condensed and really dark because of all the stippling, I can actually kind of make a blob to outline it and then just fill in that area. And I've got my first crater happening. I could do the same thing up here. And now this one, where you move the pencil around and around and around in a circular fashion. Do you guys remember what that's called?
I don't remember what that's called.
You remember? No Cheese? Where I make swirls in the same section?
No.
Yeah,
Scrumbling.
Scrumbling. We're gonna scrumble. I don't know. That's just what they call it. I didn't name it.
Why do they call it scrumbling?
Scientists and astronauts get to name stuff that they find in the sky for the first time ever, Like someone got to call it the moon, and someone got to call it Jupiter, and the galaxy, and the Milky Way, and all that stuff. Well, with artists and coming up with these techniques, I did not come up with this technique, so I did not get to name it. I don't know what I would name it. I kind of like saying scrumbling. It's super fun. Everybody, can you scrumble? Swirlerling, that's what you'd call it?
Swirlerling.
My ECE friends would have a really hard time saying swirlering. Swirling? Well, yeah, but that's an action word. It's not a technique word.
Yes, it is.
A technique is an action.
Can you scrumble? Can you scrumble? Can you show me how to scrumble? Yeah, let's scrumble. Scrumbling. So, okay, there's my moon. There's some space right here. Should I put a cow?
Yes, put a cow.
Okay,
no,
I'm
put the
gonna
cow jumping over the moon.
Oh, Rihanna, this is brilliant. I am not very good at drawing cows, but you know what? I'm going to do my best. First, I'm going to make the body, and I'm going to add the leg.
This is a tiny cow.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's actually quite huge if you think about it. And I'm gonna
I've never
add his
actually seen a
hooves.
cow, so I don't know.
In real life? You never seen a cow in real life?
Never.
Well, I have to remedy that soon. I'm going to give him a little
I've seen
tail.
pigs.
And then
Pigs are
look,
actually
oh, I
kinda
get to scrumble some more because Mr. Cow, he's got some spots happening on him. Just scrumble some spots. Yeah, now. Color in
No
his
more
hooves.
scrumbling.
Now here comes his head. I'm going to give him a head. His nose is up front. He's got some ears happening right here.
He's got some horns.
He's got some horns happening. And floppy ears.
Wait, isn't that more like a bull?
No, some cows can have tiny horns.
You know what, Miss Art
male
Critic,
cow?
I'm just going to fill in his face because very clear that my details are not translating to you. There we go. Cow jumping over the moon.
Ta-da.
Woody.
He's going. He's not there yet, but he's going. Oh, man. And Quinn's even added some stars. I like that.
Nice.
For stars, this is my favorite kind of star. I put a dot in the middle
And just
and just make 4 little lines that pop out so it looks like it's glowing. All right, you ready for the next phase of the moon? I'm going to take my circular device. I'm going to go around it again very gently, but I'm not going to trace the whole thing. Did you notice how I left some of it open?
what is this? Quarter moon?
Did you know that there are 8 phases to the moon, 8 major phases? And so I'm not going to tell you what the name of it is. You have to go look it up today. That's your science project for today, okay? You're going to go look up what the phases of the moon are. All right? So now, I have a choice. I can turn this into half of a moon, right? By just pulling that line down the middle of it. But here's the thing. The moon isn't gone. It's still here, right?
You just can't see
You
it.
just can't see it because this is literally the entire dark side of the moon, right? So I could do halvesies. Let's go ahead and do halvesies. I'm always going to remember, though, when I draw a line down the middle of the moon, I'm going to leave it slightly curved. You throwing things over there, Winifred? She's throwing things at me. And then we fill it in, right? And now filling this in with a dark marker would be awesome. I'm not going to do that in my notebook right now because I don't have anything underneath it. Ooh, and Quinn, what kind of moon phase did you make?
Crescent.
A crescent
A
moon.
banana.
Or a
Cheshire
banana.
Cat smile.
Or a Cheshire Cat smile, or God's fingernail, right?
That
Some,
was
hey, Grandpa used to call it God's fingernail.
Seriously?
Yeah. Ridiculous, I know. Grandpa was the silly man. All right,
There we go.
and now,
Cheshire
again,
Cat.
same thing over here. We can add some details, right? You know what's super, super fun? Is if you've got any paint at home, you guys, you can actually wad up a paper towel, dip it in paint, and then just splotch it onto the moon, and it creates this really cool texture. And oh no, I'm not even going to talk about paint anymore because that's so exciting. And I love how you included the entire moon, even though the smile is the moon part that we see, and then the Cheshire Cat's face is hidden. So cool. All right, we got one more phase to make.
Mr.
I
Brew,
challenge you. Yes, what's
yours
up?
kind of looks like the contrast mode symbol on our computers.
Oh,
It's cool.
that's a good point. I haven't finished adding detail. I think I might break out some paint later and some paper towel or finger
It looks
paint.
like a half moon cookie.
I can't see any of the stippling. Okay, there we are.
It's just so tiny, right? It's because I'm using a tiny pencil. Last one. You got to pick one more phase, and so do I. What are you gonna pick?
Half.
A half.
A
I'm gonna trace my shape again, but this time I'm gonna do what Quinn did, which is pull it around and curve it with the edge that I already have. And now I've got a really fancy crescent moon.
You have now shown all 3 of the
Just your
3 of the phases that you like.
the phases that I know.
That you know. Okay, so what's this one called?
There's also
That's
a
the half
quarter
moon.
Oh, you're giving it away to people. They got to go look this up.
It's
Don't trust no cheese or curly fries in what they say. You have to go look this up yourself because
Are you,
they have a
are
habit.
you saying I'm not trustworthy? I'm a camera
Look at
person.
I trust you with the camera. It doesn't mean that the people at home should trust you with facts. They should go look up the facts themselves. Boys and girls, please remember that Wikipedia is not an accurate place to get facts. It is an accurate place to gather ideas, concepts, and opinions that people have posted on Wikipedia.
Ta-da.
But I want you to find a reliable source that you believe will show you what all of the 8 major phases of the moon are.
Okay.
So scrumbling is the thing that we are doing a lot
That's
today.
beautiful.
Hey! The Cheshire Cat's gonna eat you. Nom, 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 nom. So
Delicious.
those of you at Colfax, I miss you terribly, and I want you to remember we were doing, before we left on break, we were doing hidden art, right? Where we would take a special message and hide it inside of something else. So Quinn has hidden the Cheshire Cat on all of her moons, and I love it.
Beautiful.
And it's not necessarily that she's hidden them, but she put an extra layer on top, right? Sometimes the things that we hide are very tiny and you can't see.
Like the cow.
It could be cheese.
I could literally create this into like a piece of Swiss cheese, and I think that'd be
Yeah, I
hilarious.
don't like Swiss.
You don't have to eat it. I just have to draw it, right? So I can pretend that this is Swiss cheese by adding some
And there's a
details
mouse.
and hiding the. Oh,
Mouse.
I actually think that this is the bite that the mouse took, so I'm gonna add some bumps here, kind of make it look like a mouse bit into it. That's such a fun idea.
I like put a mouse on it. So
Oh, what I'm
like the
gonna do
mouse
right
landed
now?
on the moon.
What I'm gonna do right now is I'm actually gonna
Make it a mouse.
hide the mouse behind it as if he's eating around the back of it.
Nom, nom.
And here comes his tail. Are you ready?
Kinda
There we
like
go.
that tail.
I love it. It's so fun. So fun. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in today to watch us be ridiculous and draw with stencils. So don't forget, find yourself a stencil and create some of the phases of the moon today. Or you know what? You can make bubbles. What else is circular that you can make? Fruit. Oh my gosh, there's so many fruits that are like circular shaped.
Makeup.
Makeup?
Yeah, you can make a lipstick.
That's not working. Oh, you mean for a stencil. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, my friends, and we'll see you again later on today for a little bit more of origami with curly fries. Thanks from the bottom of our heart. We'll see you later.